Hey everyone, welcome to today's Fact of the Day. For today, let's look at something that many of us have wondered at one time or another, but that many of us don't actually know the answer to. Living to 80, that's not very uncommon. 90, less common, but definitely not out of the question. 100, probably not. But what was the longest verified age someone has reached? 122 years and 164 days. Born in 1874 in Arles, France, Jeanne Calment attended school until the age of 16. Once she finished her schooling, she spent most of her time painting and learning to play the piano. When she was 21 in 1895, she married her double second cousin. Their paternal grandfathers were brothers and paternal grandmothers were sisters. By today's standards, that's a very strange family reunion. Her husband, Fernand Calment, was heir to a tapestry fortune, so Jean's life was not as hard as many. They had a large house and servants, living a high society lifestyle. In 1898, she gave birth to their only child, Yvonne. She eventually became a grandmother, but when her daughter died in 1934, Jeanne raised her grandson as her own. In 1942, at the age of 73, her husband died of cherry poisoning, which I had no idea was an actual thing. She saw out the Nazi occupation with little impact to her way of life. At the age of 90, once all of her heirs had passed away, Jeanne entered into an agreement surrounding her home. She sold the home to an investor with occupancy rights, basically granting her the ability to live there until she died, and monthly revenue of 2,500 francs. That was in 1965. The real estate investor died in 1995, and it ended up so that Jeanne made more than double the home's value from the agreement. Her claim to the record isn't without controversy, though, with many claiming she was lying about her age. Some claim that Jeanne was actually Yvonne, the single child who died in 1934. They say that it was Jeanne that died and Yvonne took over as her mother. However, most don't lend credibility to these allegations, as there have been many sources and documents presented that verified Jeanne Calment, born 1874, died 1997, was indeed the verified longest living person in history. She lived to see everything from the first automobiles to the invention of the internet. She saw electricity light the world, and she saw man land on the moon. She saw Van Gogh, and she saw online shopping. What a life.